Hello everyone. Today, let's dive into the full, detailed breakdown of episode 45, part 2, episode 18. Previously, on a cold, snowy night, Chen Ping'an sat quietly inside a cave, warming himself by the fire while reading. Despite the harsh environment, he remained calm and disciplined, continuing his cultivation and maintaining a steady state of mind. His persistence reflected his personality, enduring hardship without complaint, always moving forward step by step. During that night, the trio encountered a mysterious man and woman. The woman was revealed to be an extremely powerful fox demon, while the man was even more terrifying, his depth and strength impossible to measure. He entered the cave, casually conversed, and instantly saw through Chen Ping'an's true nature and foundation. Afterward, he left without lingering. Outside, the man easily suppressed the fox demon, severely injuring her and forcing her into submission. His overwhelming strength made it clear that he stood at a completely different level. Back in the cave, Chen Ping'an continued practicing calligraphy. However, when he wrote the phrase, Lu Chen's decree, the distant man immediately sensed it. This subtle reaction hinted at a mysterious and profound connection between them, something far deeper than a simple encounter. In this episode, Chen Ping'an and his two companions continue their journey through the relentless snowstorm. The road ahead is long and harsh, and the atmosphere among the three becomes heavy. Chen Ping'an focuses entirely on practicing his Quan Fa fist techniques. With each step, he forces his body to endure pain, maintaining his breath and internal rhythm. Every movement is slow but deliberate, as if carving progress into his very bones. Meanwhile, the boy in green is caught in inner turmoil. He knows he was wrong in previous events and wants to admit his mistake, but his pride prevents him from doing so. This internal conflict grows heavier with each step, turning into frustration and resentment. The girl in pink, standing between them, tries to mediate. She gently explains that what truly matters is not absolute right or wrong, but one's intentions and how one chooses to act. Her words are calm and thoughtful, offering a different perspective on morality. Yet in the end, the boy still cannot bring himself to speak. His silence only deepens his irritation, and he begins to miss the carefree, independent life he once had. Elsewhere, the story expands. In the distant land of Nanjian, a different story unfolds. The talented sword cultivator Wei Jin is deeply in love with the Taoist nun Xia Xiaoliang. However, his feelings are met with a cold and decisive rejection. To Xia Xiaoliang, the great Tao stands above all else. Emotions, love, and attachment are secondary, even disposable. She is willing to form a Tao partnership based on fate, but not on love. This completely shatters Wei Jin's hopes, leaving him in despair. Soon after, he clashes with Jin Tong of the Shen Gao sect. The conflict escalates to the point where Wei Jin nearly kills him, but a young Taoist intervenes. This Taoist is of extremely high status and possesses a worldview aligned entirely with the Tao, cold, rational, and detached. He also supports Xia Xiaoliang's decision, reinforcing the idea that in higher cultivation realms, emotions are often sacrificed. At the same time, another mysterious young Taoist appears in a city, disguised as a fortune teller. Though his behavior seems strange and unpredictable, he clearly possesses deep wisdom. His presence hints at hidden schemes and larger forces at play behind the scenes. A parallel storyline unfolds quietly. In the southern regions of eastern Baoping continent, where people pride themselves on being more civilized than the north, a wandering ascetic monk appears. He lives a simple life, performing small acts of kindness without expecting anything in return. At one point, he feeds a mistreated monkey and leaves silently. At night, he stays in a ruined temple, where he shares space with a mad old man. This old man is ridiculed and abused by others, often asking strange questions about naming children. For half a year, the two coexist without much interaction. But one stormy night, the old man suddenly reveals his inner pain. He confesses that he once gave the wrong name, indirectly bringing misfortune upon his grandson. His regret is deep and consuming. The monk responds with Buddhist teachings, stating that all sentient beings suffer. However, the old man rejects this, arguing that it is better to suffer as a human than to become an emotionless immortal. As time passes, the old man occasionally regains clarity. He reveals that his grandson was extraordinarily talented, but because of his own mistake, the child suffered greatly. Now, he lives only to see him again and apologize. When his body begins to fail, he begs the monk to help him remain conscious. The monk does not directly save him but instead points out a path. If he cannot let go, then he must first hold on. He directs him toward Dali, where the boy's teacher resides. However, when the name of a great sage is mentioned, the old man reacts with fear and anger, suggesting a past tied to extremely powerful figures. In the end, the old man carves the words, Longchen, Dali, into his hand to remember his goal. Despite his failing body, he continues to struggle forward, driven by his final obsession. The monk eventually leaves, and the old man remains alone in the ruined temple, yet protected by an unseen force, hinting at deeper karma and fate. Back to Chen Ping'an's journey. On the way back to Dali, Chen chooses a dangerous mountain route instead of the usual path. In the middle of a snowstorm, they encounter a border cavalry patrol. At first, both sides are wary. But once Chen calmly presents his travel permit and speaks the Dali dialect, the tension dissolves. A young soldier even offers them shelter if needed. After they part ways, the captain sternly reprimands the young soldier, warning him never to underestimate cultivators. Through their conversation, it becomes clear that the border situation is tense, war may be approaching. The discussion shifts to military strength. The boy in green bluntly compares armies. Das Wei's troops are like guard dogs, while Dali's cavalry are like battle-hardened wild dogs. He even reveals a secret: Dali troops once chased and killed cultivators over hundreds of miles. A terrifying weapon is also mentioned, the white jade capital flying sword, capable of striking targets from thousands of miles away. This alone is enough to deter many enemies. Chen listens quietly, storing everything in his mind, though he still hopes war can be avoided. Cultivation and inner growth. Throughout the journey, Chen Ping'an continues practicing the mountain-shaking fist. In the freezing snow, every breath feels like torture. His body nearly freezes, yet a fire dragon of energy within him keeps him alive. The boy in green mocks him for lacking talent, but Chen remains unwavering. To him, even the smallest progress matters, just like how he once earned money bit by bit in his childhood. After 5 days, the snow melts. They arrive at Fengya County, where Chen happily buys a book despite limited money and space. For him, reading, traveling, and training are the essence of his path. That night, the boy in green kills a pillow spirit. Chen, however, believes it could have been driven away instead of killed, showing his compassion and moral restraint. Later, while reflecting on a passage about wealth and responsibility, Chen struggles with whether to build a proper tomb for his parents. With a simple suggestion, do both, he resolves his internal conflict. Finally, they reach Mount Luopo. The moment Chen sees his home, he loses control and runs wildly forward. All discipline disappears, he simply runs. The basket on his back, filled with soil from countless places he has traveled, rattles loudly. It symbolizes everything he has experienced. When he arrives, he discovers large-scale construction across the mountain. Soon, he meets Wei Bo, who reveals that he has become Chen's neighbor and has already built a beautiful bamboo house for him. The entire region is being transformed into a grand, almost immortal landscape. On the way up, Chen sees refugees working hard. When he learns that a black python is being harassed despite harming no one, he firmly states his belief. Good and evil are determined by actions, not by identity. The emotional climax. At the top, Chen sees the bamboo house, beautiful, elegant, and perfectly placed. He is stunned. For the first time, he truly feels that he has a home. The three of them run upstairs, looking out at the vast landscape, filled with quiet happiness. But Chen does not stay long. He leads them back down toward his hometown, pointing out familiar places, but deliberately avoids certain memories. He has changed. Finally, instead of entering the town, he walks straight to his parents' grave. Without a word, he opens his basket and adds soil from every place he has traveled onto the grave. No tears. No dramatic grief. Only silent devotion. A young man who has walked thousands of miles, finally returns home, and gives everything he has gathered back to his parents. This moment defines Chen Ping'an. Quiet, steady, deeply emotional, but never showy. His feelings are not spoken loudly. But they carry more weight than mountains. That concludes episode 45. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to catch the latest videos.